Bienvenido a la Ciudad de Mexico. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mexico City. My name's Garrett, and I'm going to be talking about what it's like living here and teaching online. So I am originally from Kansas and Colorado, but I lived for the past 10 years in Los Angeles and then Santa Barbara before that. I've been living in Mexico since January, so just a little over 6 months. And I went to a ITA partner school in Guadalajara and then moved to Mexico City after that. So one of my favorite things about where I live is there's a park across the street, and I start teaching in about 10 minutes, but I always love to take a walk around the park before I do that. So I'm going to show you guys that. So we are just walking to the park. My house is the white building there. So you can see a far walk. You guys might hear some of the birds singing as well, which I love. We had a big thunderstorm this morning and last night, so everything is wet. Right now, we are in the rainy season, which I love because we usually get rain in the afternoon or evening. But I also love hearing the birds and just being able to get some outside fresh air, especially during the time of COVID. My friends, the little hippo, and then as we just continue kind of the walk, it's just a little park. I've got my friend little gorilla dude over there, but it's great because I can, on my breaks, just go outside and take a little walk around the park. All right, so I am heading back to my apartment to get ready to teach for a couple hours. As you see, we have a big gate here, which is very common in Mexico. And then we have another security door as well. But the neighborhood that I live in is very safe. It's a middle-class Mexican neighborhood. So I am back in my apartment and I'm getting ready to teach. So I will check back in with you guys in a couple hours. So my favorite thing about teaching online is that I get to be business on top and casual on bottom. And then during my break, I will show you guys my little studio apartment where I live alone. So my first student didn't show up, but the cool thing about Open English is that I still get paid. So I have about 20 minutes till my next class starts. So I figured I'd show you my little teaching setup. So here's my little teaching setup with my laptop and my headphones on my bar top. I do use a Ethernet cable as well, just because sometimes internets can be a little bit So I just finished my first block of teaching, and with Open English you do 2 hours, but you can work up to 4 hours in a row, and I changed out of my work shirt into a t-shirt because I've got an hour and a half break. Now I'm going to show you my studio apartments and also talk a little bit about what it's like to be gay and living in Mexico City. I'm starting the kickoff of ITA's Pride Week, and I'll tell you all about what it's like being an expat and being in a city where being gay is very open, out, and proud, which is what I love. So welcome to my studio apartments. As you see, it's not very big, but it has everything that I need. You can see the park out my window and hear the birds. Again, which I absolutely love. I've got my little bedroom area, which living in a studio, I have to make my bed every day. I like to call this my sanitizing station. I've got cleaning wipes, face mask, hand sanitizer, a little futon, and then TV, my little closet area. And then over here is my kitchen. So I've got a stove and oven, which is gas, which is fantastic for cooking. And then my little teaching area. So now let's go into the bathroom. I've got a big, large bathroom with a nice size shower and plenty of hot water, drying some clothes. And then I also have the toilet bathroom area with all of my toiletries over here. So I would say this is a pretty big bathroom for Mexico, but I thoroughly enjoy it. So one of the things I really like is this was a house that was turned into 3 apartments. I've got a little backyard area. I can dry some clothes there. And then this is my bathroom here that I share with the other 2. This is the front courtyard. You can see the park across the street. My neighbor's got a very cool motorcycle. We have a little garden area over here as well. Nice greenery. And then I've also got, this is my window here. And you can see I've got somebody that lives above me and then somebody that lives across the hall as well. So normally I would make lunch right now, but I actually ordered some food from my favorite restaurant, Casa del Toño, and I ordered pozole, which is a soup here that is so good. The restaurant is cheap and quick, easy. Right now, everything but essential businesses like grocery stores, banks, pharmacies are closed, and then restaurants, you can order food to go. So once that arrives, I will show you this super yummy soup. So I have an hour and a half break until my next block of classes, so it's time to chill and relax. One of the biggest questions I always get from anyone is if I feel safe here in Mexico City. And quite simply put, the answer is yes. I think this is a super safe city, but just like any city, there are parts that I probably wouldn't want to visit, but the same could be said for Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, London. You just have to be street smart, but there are police everywhere here, and I think it's an extremely safe city. So when we talk about being gay here in Mexico City, the city is very open. I know that a lot of people think of Mexico as a very Catholic country, which it is, but Mexico City is about 26 million people. So there's a lot of diversity here. Also, Mexico City has really come on the scene lately because the food here is so delicious. And it's got some great street art, great areas, bars, everything like that, which I will actually be taking an Uber and showing you the gay district later today. So now a little bit more about me. I'm 35 years old and I decided to do a career change. I was managing bars and restaurants in LA and I just got really tired of that. I grew up in the restaurant business. Both my parents owned restaurants. So it was something that was very natural to me. But I decided I wanted something with a little bit more meaning in life, and I found it teaching English, helping people learn a new skill. I really love talking to people and hearing about where they live, which is one of the things I really like about Open English is I teach people from Colombia, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Mexico, everywhere. And I really love that aspect of teaching online. So, since this is Pride Week, I'm going to talk a little bit about being gay and kind of my story. So, I've been out for a very long time. I came out right before I turned 16, and so I like to say since the dawn of time. I've got an amazing family who has been very accepting, never had an issue with it or anything like that. So while I wait for my food, I'm just doing a little walk around my park again to get some exercise. You'll see I'm not wearing a face mask. If I go anywhere in public, I do wear a face mask, but since there's no one around right here, I don't if I'm just walking in my little park. When we talk about being gay in Mexico City, you see guys holding hands, even giving each other kisses, everything like that on the metro. So I really love that aspect and how open the city is with sexuality. I'll talk more about gay life this afternoon when I take you to Zona Rosa, which is the gay district. But now let's talk about money, and I'll post all my living expenses and everything like that. So I'm on a little break from teaching. With open English, nighttime and weekends tend to be the prime time. But I thought I would answer a couple questions for everyone. The first was, what visa am I on? Since I'm not teaching with a Mexican school, I'm actually just on a tourist visa, which for US citizens is 180 days. After 180 days, you are supposed to leave the country for 24 hours, and once you come back, you get another 180 days. If you stay over that visa, it's a 500 peso penalty, or about $25. So another great question I was asked was how I found my apartment. Sometimes it can be hard for expats to find or get an apartment in Mexico. For me, I just booked my apartment originally through Airbnb for a month, and I really liked it. So then I just asked my landlords if I could stay longer, and I'm doing a long-term lease with them, and I don't plan on moving anytime soon. So another great question was if Open English requires a degree. They don't, just a TEFL certificate. I do have my degree, and of course that probably always helps because companies like that, but they don't require one. So another question that somebody asked was, how much Spanish do you need to know? In Mexico City, you definitely want to know some. Because this is such a large city, lots of people don't know any English. I am by no means fluent, but I can get by with general conversation, shopping at the grocery store, doing things that I need. If you are in a beach community like Puerto Vallarta or Cancun, something like that, you would be fine without knowing any Spanish. I'm also going to post my little name tag somewhere up around there. So if you have any other questions or anything about maybe being gay in a new country or living in Mexico, reach out to me. Well, that is a wrap for my ITA takeover and a look into my day. They're pretty long. I usually teach about 8 hours a day, but I love it and I wouldn't have it any other way. I want to thank ITA for letting me do the kickoff for Pride Week and for all of the questions. If I didn't get back to you, hit me up on my personal page and I definitely will. Also, if you are debating about doing this or not, I only have one thing to say, and that's do it. Take the leap because this is one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.